Hey, it's Robbie from the Goo Goo Dolls, and this is Popularity.
Can you compare the way you approach music now to when it all began? How has the approach changed?
Well, I think when we were kids, we started this band almost 25 years ago. I think, we were just, in college and looking for a way to have fun. And, somewhere along the way in those 25 years, I think we kind of learned a little bit about songwriting, a little bit about being in a band, a little about being a human being, and, allow things to transform. From there, I guess a lot of bands don't get the luxury to see what happens over that amount of time. So, but I think they just sort of let things move forward naturally.
hmm Do you feel that the longevity you guys have in the music industry creates a kind of confidence level?
I don't know. I mean, the industry's so different now from what it was when we started. I don't know if anyone can really have much of a confidence level in the industry. I do know that we are fortunate to have an unbelievable amount of fans that are really dedicated, to what we do and really, find some sort of connection with what we do. So that feels really good. But as I said, the music industry, it's an ever-changing beast these days. And so, I don't think you can get too comfortable with it if you're smart.
What would you say are the most significant changes that you've noticed within the industry since the band first started, and what do you find the most challenging about the industry today?
Well, I think the internet is obviously, and the digital revolution, is obviously the largest change factor, in this whole thing. And the economy, the global economy, another one. But I think, there's also been a change in the way it's hard to sell CDs these days, but I think people have a connection with music as much as they ever have. And finding a way to make that connection and still be able to make this be what you do, your job, to be able to sustain yourself as you're doing it. I think that there's new formulas that you have to come up with to figure out how that works. A lot of it's, social networking and that kind of stuff. But, it took a few years for all the fright and anxiety to subside within the music industry, and I think people are now starting to find ways to actually make it function, within their business model,
hmm
if you will.
What are the key challenges that you feel the band faces during your creative process?
During the creative process, I guess it's just, especially after many, many years of putting records out, I guess you get to a point where you're afraid you're repeating yourself. And I think after putting 9 records out, that's something that you really have to look at. You want to grow, but you don't want to grow in ways you shouldn't just so you grow, because you're going to end up going off the rails and being the kind of band that you don't need to be. And, there's a certain death eventually for your band, So, I think, you just got to be kind of careful about how you grow, as a band. And I think that that's something that, we've kept an eye on. I always say, I have stacks of reviews over 25 years of people saying, that we've released stuff that's, just like the record before. But obviously, if you take a bit of a step back, you can take a look at, our band that started in 1986, playing 3-chord punk rock songs with me as lead singer. At CBGB's, follow that band to the band that's going to be playing on, songs, with 14 top 10 hits that is playing on Dancing with the Stars tomorrow. Obviously, there's been some sort of growth in there, and people were missing it. And I think that that's because, as I said, we really tried to move forward in a way that was comfortable for us, and not make the jumps too big, but still grow. And I guess that's the hardest part is, distinguishing, what is that next jump, and all the anxiety that comes with that sort of.
Do you find that when you perform songs that they're evolving or changing with each time you play them? Do songs ever grow? And can you give us an example of a song that you feel has grown?
Yeah, songs can grow in different ways. There's certain songs like Broadway, or like a song that we do called "Cause You're Gone," where parts have grown, whole brand new parts have grown into the songs live. But there's also another way that songs grow, and that's, some of these songs were recorded 15 years ago, and just the way we play them is differently, the way we hear them is differently. We hear them differently. And we now have been playing with the same guitar player and keyboard player live, because we tour with a couple of guys. We've been playing with these same guys now for about 5-6 years, which is longer than the lifespan of most bands. But we never really did that for longer than about 2 years at a time. So I think even with our live band, we're starting to feel these songs out a little bit more now, and we're starting to, the songs are sort of starting to take on a life, within the band itself. And I think that that's the growth that I noticed the most, like when I go back and listen to an early record, and I listen to the way we played it then, and then I listen to the way we play the song now, and we're definitely like more familiar, more comfortable within the song. And that comes with playing a few thousand shows, between when we recorded it.
What would you say are the biggest things that you've learned about yourself musically and personally throughout the creation process of, like, the rest of us?
I think creatively, we took a lot more responsibility to get this record finished. And so I think I learned that we are able to do that if we need to. Our producer, Tim Palmer, left to go to Austin where he lived. And we decided to start working on the record again. And we ended up working on it for a few more months after he left. So we really felt as though our hands were very, very much still on the process of record making this time. I think that was a great lesson for us to learn. And the team that we had was surrounding us at the time, was very supportive of making the whole thing happen. I think that's awesome. As far as people go, as far as, what do we learn about ourselves as people? I think we've been around for a long time now, and I don't think we've ever really looked at this band in that way. But I think that when I look around right now, this band has taken on a really interesting place in all of our lives, and I think that we're discovering this new place that this takes, as adults, a 46-year-old, I just turned 46, as a 46-year-old dude in a band, as opposed to being a 20-year-old dude in a band, which I was when this started, I think that was something that we never really thought about growing into too much. Our heads were down and we were running, but I think right now, as busy as we are, I think that the point in our lives that we're at, we're looking at this as part of our life, as opposed to something that might just go away in a few days. And I think that's a pretty